celebrating 70 years of coverage you can count on. This is KCBD News Channel 11's Daybreak Today.
Now at 6 o'clock, testimony continues today in the trial of a man accused of shooting at a Lubbock family. Plus, fighting has entered its 5th day in the Gaza Strip. This morning, we'll hear from members of the Jewish community here in Lubbock. And another government shutdown is looming as House Republicans scramble to find another speaker. Those stories and more are on the way for you. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us on Daybreak Today. I'm Angie Wynn. Steve Devine is here as well in the First Alert Forecast Center with all the latest on today's forecast. Hi, Steve.
Good morning. And this morning, watching some low clouds developing over the city right now, illuminated by the lights of the city. It's still mostly fair at this point, but I do expect this cloud cover to expand in the area. It'll be an overcast. No rain for us. See the rain, though, widespread. South Texas, the coastal areas moving into East Texas. It's not severe, and it's not moving our way, but always a good idea if you're traveling by air to check in on your flight status. Rain, of course, the weather elsewhere can affect flights in and out of other airports. Current temperature at the Plainview Airport is 55, Levelland 59, Lubbock, Lamesa at 63 degrees. So it's a cool start here to the morning, but it's going to be another very warm afternoon. High temperature today about 88 degrees. By lunchtime, we'll be in the 70s, then 80s this afternoon. Breezy, about 10 to 20 miles per hour. That cloud cover this morning, though, gives way to sunshine. We're looking at another very warm day tomorrow. That's going to be followed by the arrival of the cold front that we've been talking about. We'll take a look at the numbers that follow that cold front here in a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Steve. Now to Israel, where the death toll is rising as the Israeli military continues to bombard Gaza. Entire neighborhoods have been reduced to piles of rubble after 5 days of airstrikes. Israel's defense minister has ordered a total siege of the Strip, cutting off food, fuel, and electricity. Meanwhile, Hamas continues to fire rockets into Israel, days after carrying out a terrorist attack that killed hundreds of Israelis. President Biden has confirmed 14 Americans were killed and at least 20 are missing, possibly among the 100 taken hostage.
The loss of innocent life is heartbreaking. Like every nation in the world, Israel has the right to respond, indeed has a duty to respond to these vicious attacks.
The president says he intends to ask Congress to approve more funding for Israel to help it defend its territory and people. Meanwhile, we're hearing from members of the Jewish community here in Lubbock. Carla Fenves, the rabbi for Lubbock's only synagogue congregation, She'ereth Israel, says her first reaction to the attacks was fear, even thousands of miles away. She adds many Jewish Americans, including those here in Lubbock, have family and friends who live in Israel. Right now, her goal is to support her congregation and provide a space for them to process what's going on.
A lot right now is making space for grief for the lives that have been lost, for the hundreds, praying for the release of the hostages, those held in captivity, and a lot of comforting of each other.
The rabbi says she's also trying to help her congregation know how to talk about the current events with their neighbors and colleagues. Across the nation, the House of Representatives is still without a speaker. This as another government shutdown is looming. As Amy Kiley reports, House Republicans hope to change that with a vote today.
Israel's war against Hamas,
our enemies view it as an opportunity, and our allies worry,
is adding to the pressure on House Republicans to choose the next speaker. They're set to vote behind closed doors today. First on the agenda is a proposed rule change. It would ensure a candidate has enough support to take the gavel before a floor vote. That's after it took 15 rounds to elect the previous speaker, Kevin McCarthy.
I think we got to get 217 votes to go to the floor.
After that, Republicans hope to pick a new speaker. Two men are vying for the job as a government shutdown looms. Representative Jim Jordan proposes a long-term stopgap funding bill with spending cuts.
We got to help Israel, that's for sure.
House Majority Leader Steve Scalise says he wants to get Senate Democrats to negotiate.
What people have really liked about my approach is that I've been a unifier.
It's unclear if either candidate has enough support to get elected. As for McCarthy, he says he'll back whichever nominee gets party support. And the man who led his ouster seems ready to go easier on the next speaker.
I'm very confident that both of these men would represent an upgrade over Speaker McCarthy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Here at home, testimony continues today in the trial of a man accused of shooting at a Lubbock family back in 2020. 57-year-old John Dunklin is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Police records show Dunklin began following the family near 37th and Inglewood. They tried to get away, but he continued to follow them. Dunklin then fired a single shot toward the back seat of the car where 3 children were sitting. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Dunklin was arrested the following day. And we are less than a month away from the November special election for constitutional amendments and county propositions, so we want to remind you of important dates. First off, early voting begins in 2 weeks on October 23rd. Voters wanting to cast their ballot early will have through November 3rd to do so. And if you'd like to apply for a mail-in ballot, the deadline for that is October 27th. Election Day is less than a month away on November 7th. Along with many Texas constitutional amendments, Lubbock County voters will also decide on funding for a new medical examiner's office. Proposition A on the upcoming ballot asks Lubbock County taxpayers for $35 million in debt funding to build a new facility near the detention center. Judge Curtis Parrish says the new medical examiner's facility would be 31,000 square feet with room to grow, as well as space to support a mass casualty situation if one ever arises.
We did see during COVID how many deaths that we had, and our morgues were overrun.
If the vote passes, Parrish tells us the county is ready to break ground on the project immediately. He says it would take around 2 years to build. If rejected, the county expects to continue contracting autopsy services. 2 local groups, Children at Risk and Lubbock Area United Way, are hosting a news conference today. They will be discussing effects of the Texas legislative session on early childhood education, while also urging voters to support Proposition 2 on the November ballot. That amendment would give a property tax cut to qualified child care centers. The conference starts at 10 this morning at the Lubbock Area United Way, located at 1655 Main Street. Now then, checking in on today's forecast. We're halfway through the work week and we've enjoyed some warmer days. Steve, is there a cold front headed our way?
There is a cold front, and it's significant, but it's not going to be arriving today. We're still ahead of the cold front. We're looking at our tower cam right now. In this particular view, you can see quite a bit of low cloud cover. That's been increasing here in the area. Currently at the Lubbock Airport, partly cloudy conditions, 63 degrees. It's been breezy, and it'll be a breezy day for us. And as we go through the morning, I expect this cloud cover to create mostly cloudy conditions for us. An overcast sky, and with that, we'll call it the mostly cloudy morning. That's reflected here in this forecast graphic. No rain out of this, but notice that it does diminish, leading to a sunny sky, breezy conditions this afternoon. Here's a look at that breeze that I mentioned for the afternoon. Should see sustained winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now we may get some gusts near 30. Our western areas could see the sustained winds closer to 15 to 25 miles per hour. But as the sun comes out and that southwesterly breeze kicks in, it's going to help push our temperatures to about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. So we're looking at right around the upper 80s across much of the area here on the Caprock, including Lubbock at 88 degrees. Off the Caprock, upper 80s to near 90 degrees. So a very warm, breezy afternoon. Overnight, a little breezy once again. Overnight lows for most of us in the 60s. Lubbock at 62, a few 50s in the northwest. So again, not quite as chilly as it has been of late. Tomorrow afternoon, a high temperature of 88. We should start with some cloud cover in the morning, but then sunny and windy in the afternoon. Then that cold front arrives. So we've been talking about the chilly nights and chilly mornings that'll move in. In fact, it gets a little bit cold. Lows Saturday and Sunday in the low 40s. Angie?
Wow, thank you, Steve. It's 6:08. Still to come on Daybreak today. Buddy Holly Hall is celebrating the success of Disney's The Lion King. What you need to know if you'd like to see the production. Plus, the Texas pastor shows the true meaning of love thy neighbor. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us. You're watching Daybreak today on KCBD News Channel 11.